Episode 2 of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina picks up right where the first one left off. This time it's with, Satan has been summoned to Lilith's house, and they're still going over some of her concerns about Sabrina. He wants Sabrina to be his prophet on Earth, and Lilith, of course, has some concerns about this. She is still feeling a bit jealous. She definitely wants to be the queen. And although he tells her, you'll still be at my side, he pretty much tells her Sabrina is going to have more power, I guess. And she says, with her being a half mortal, she's not going to want to do evil things. And he tells her, not to worry about that he's in control of all of this. After this, Satan makes a little trip to the Spellman house, wakes Sabrina up about 3 in the morning, and advises her to steal a pack of gum. In the morning, Sabrina goes downstairs, and she just very casually mentions that Satan visited her last night. Of course, they're all thrown off by this. Even Zelda's like, I can't believe I slept through that. Well, she asks them, has he ever came to them? Did he ever ask them to do anything? And before she can even say what he wanted her to do, they pretty much hush her up and say that, don't talk about it. You just do what he says with a smile. And she says, if you don't do it, there will be consequences. And we'll find out some more about that later on in the episode. Sabrina goes into town to steal the pack of gum, and before she can do this, Lilith catches her, so it kind of throws her off just a little bit. At the academy, they are going to perform a play, which is going to be the Passion of Lucifer Morningstar, which is kind of a play on, the Passion of the Christ. They're just doing it a little bit differently. Meanwhile, at Baxter High, they are doing Shakespeare. They're going over Romeo and Juliet. And although Jazz is still a little weirded out by her vision of what she saw about Harvey, they do pair up to do one of the romance scenes from Romeo and Juliet. At the academy, Sabrina is watching Nick and one of the weird sisters perform part of the play, and she's pretty much the understudy for Lilith. And she sort of has a kind of a vision, I guess. She sees Satan again, and he's telling her how easy it would be just to get rid of the weird sister, and she could be the star of the show. And she kind of freaks out. She has a vision of what it would be like if she did it, but she flips out. She ultimately does not do this. Back at Baxter, Theo is having a hard time with the transition. In the locker room, the boys are giving him a hard time, and this kind of starts the struggle throughout the episode. Sabrina decides to go back to Baxter just for some kind of time away from the academy, and while she's there, she runs into Theo, and they talk about the bullying that's going on, and Theo asks Sabrina if there's some kind of magical way to kind of get revenge on them, and Sabrina gives Theo a kind of a rope and says, basically you can kind of tie a knot in this and it will make one of the bullies trip and be clumsy, and kind of that'll make him look bad on the field. Sabrina gets paired with Billy, which is one of the bullies, and they're meeting at Dr. Cerberus's to kind of go over their scene for the Romeo and Juliet portion of the drama class. And while they're there, Sabrina sees Harvey and Roz together, and Billy's kind of edging this on, but Sabrina kind of starts to have a little freak out. Sabrina's starting to face some physical problems just because she is defying Satan by not doing his bidding. She's got this scratch on her back. She ends up going to Miss Wardwell and talking about it. Basically, they come up with the fact that if there's still some of Sabrina's magic out there, that some spells, that could be the reason why. She says, do you have any more spells out there? Sabrina doesn't think of anyone until it comes to her that Theo still has the rope that's gonna, to kind of ward against the bullies. And when she realizes that, she starts freaking out. She's trying to find Theo, and as she's finding Theo, Billy is walking down the stairs, Theo is behind. Of course, we don't see Theo at this point, but the rope is pulled. Theo falls down the stairs. Blood's going everywhere from this wound, and then Sabrina sees that Theo has the rope. Back in drama class, the teacher tells Harvey and Sabrina that they're going to have to pair up now because Roz seems to have come down with the chicken pox, and of course we know what happened to Billy. So Harvey and Sabrina are kind of in an awkward position after this. They start to go over some of Romeo and Juliet, and they end up kissing. Things heat up. They end up going back to Harvey's house. Clothes start getting taken off, and I was thinking something else was going to happen at this point, but when Sabrina goes to take his shirt off, she sees the scratch mark on Harvey. Of course, this is all in Sabrina's head. When Harvey looks, there's nothing there, and of course she pulls back, starts to kind of second guess everything Harvey tells her. He's trying to get over her, but she's pulling stuff like this and he can't. And she tells him after that this won't ever happen again. She wants him to move on and to just kind of forget about her. Sabrina returns home to find Salem pretty much near death. She doesn't know what's happened to him. She just knows that he's very far gone. This actually really surprised me, and given that Kiernan Shipka is very allergic to cats, I kind of wondered if they were actually going to kill off Salem, just so they didn't have to have those scenes anymore. But she turns around and Satan is out in the cemetery, and she goes out there to him holding Salem, and she's just like, "Why are you doing this to me?" And he says, "You've defied me. You have to do what I say. You have signed the book. This is what you do now." And she tells him, "Okay, I'll do whatever you want, but, please let Salem live. Please let Roz get better. Have Harvey be better, just everything." And he kind of tells her, "You're going to have to go burn down a building." And he tells her to go burn down Baxter High. And we've seen this scene play out in the trailers a couple times where she's walking through the halls. She's got the can of gasoline, and she's going to burn the school down. Right before she's about to throw the match, Satan shows up behind her, tells her she doesn't have to do this. It was all a test to see if she actually would. After all of this, Sabrina finds out that something has, the weird sister who was going to be in the play has come down with the chicken pox, and therefore she's going to have to step up and play Lilith in the play at the academy. And then they go on to show the production of it, which was really kind of interesting looking. And it kind of got to the point where Lilith in the play was first meeting Lucifer. And while all of this scene is taking place, you've got the actual Lilith kind of waiting in the wings, remembering all of this stuff happening to her and having like a really emotional reaction to this. The scene plays out between Nick and Sabrina, and then you had them actually kiss. And I have to say, these two have a lot more chemistry than she has with Harvey. So I don't know. I guess if I'm taking sides there, I guess I'm more them. But anyways, I thought the scene between them had a lot of heat. The after party for the play takes place at Dorian Gray's club, and you have this really quick scene between Ambrose and one of the weird sisters, and I guess she's kind of flirting with them, and I guess it makes you think they're going to hook up. Of course, if I'm not mistaken, in the first season, they were basically having an orgy at one point, and I'm pretty sure he was involved. So I don't know why this scene was supposed to be different. I don't know. Nick and Sabrina flirt a little bit more, and Dorian comes up to them with some drinks that apparently are from Satan himself. I guess he just appears to everybody at this point. At the very end of the episode, you have Sabrina returning back to Dr. Cerberus's, and she ends up stealing the gum that she was commanded to do earlier in the episode, and that's pretty much where it ends. I really liked this episode. I feel like this season, and granted this is only 2 episodes in, but I really feel like this part of the season is just so much better than the first part. I like the darker tone, and I just think all in all, it's just been so much more interesting. Everything with Satan trying to coerce Sabrina into doing stuff is just really interesting, and I think the dude looks really creepy, but I'm really enjoying this. This episode was by far a lot better than the first one, I thought, and it just really made the whole thing just a lot better. I'm kind of actually, this show has been compared to Buffy a lot of times. I never really felt it that much in the first season, but honestly in this part I'm kind of seeing it a little bit more. So anyways, we're going to leave this one here, and we'll be back with another recap after I go check out the third episode. So have a good one.